Hey everyone, welcome to what I'm going to call the baby bumps portion of my baby steps journey. I want to preface this video by saying that yes, my content moving forward on my channel is likely going to change as it has done through various chapters of my life. My content usually revolves around the biggest thing that's happening in my life at the moment. Previously, it was my infertility struggles, and now that I'm pregnant, it's going to be pregnancy, and then moving forward, all about baby when the baby arrives in February. That being said, I know I have several people who have been watching me for my infertility related content, and I completely understand if this is out of your comfort zone and too triggering for you to watch my videos moving forward. And I just want to say I wish everyone the best, and I hope that you all find success in the future. But in this video, I am finally in my second trimester, so I wanted to just kind of talk a bit about how my first trimester was and what I think about pregnancy so far. So I found out I was pregnant pretty early on. I believe I was about 6 weeks at the time. And one of my very first symptoms was waking up super early in the morning. And this was the exact same thing that happened to me for my pregnancy last year as well. Typically, I'm on a good sleep schedule. I wake up like 8 or 9 each day between then. But when I got pregnant, I started waking up at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 4:30 a.m., like really random early times in the morning, which was really unusual for me. And it wasn't for any particular reason. I don't usually get up at night to use the washroom. I was just waking up and I felt energetic and ready to start my day at those times too, which was also really weird. But then very quickly, that transitioned to me having to wake up because I was starving, and then also having to wake up like 2 to 3 times a night to pee. And it was pretty consistently like that up until I was about 12 weeks. So for the past 3 weeks or so now, that's kind of subsided. I don't usually get up more than once in the middle of the night, if at all. And I am able to sleep into my regular times because I'm not like starving in the morning like I was in the beginning. As for other symptoms, in the beginning, it was really hard for me to get work done like in the afternoons because I would wake up really early and then be productive from whenever I woke up to like noon. But then as soon as noon hit, I was just so wiped out like that. I was ready for a nap. My brain would go all fuzzy. I wouldn't be able to focus on anything. And it would take me way longer to complete tasks because I just kept forgetting what I was doing, and I just needed to like take a break and try and sleep and then start fresh after I woke up. That's gone away too. I don't usually feel fatigued during the day. I feel more tired in the evenings, but I think it's mostly because now I just feel kind of crappy in the evenings in general. Before, I would feel nauseous pretty much all day. I haven't had any morning sickness in the sense that I've been throwing up or anything. I've never really been the type of person to throw up. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I did. But I did feel nauseous pretty much all throughout the day in the sense that I felt like I needed to eat all the time. So I was just kind of constantly eating and snacking throughout the day. It got to a point where even that wasn't helping. I would eat and then I would still feel nauseous and feel like crap. But that seems to have subsided too, except for the evening. Sometimes I find it really hard to cook dinner. Not that that was any different from pre-pregnancy me, but I find it really hard to cook dinner because I start feeling just really gross and nauseous and like really bloated in the evenings. But speaking of bloat, that's another thing that was weird, was for a long time in the mornings, I would wake up looking almost normal in terms of what my body looked like. And then by the evenings, I would look so bloated that I would actually look pregnant. I was 15 weeks as of August 20th, so I turn a new week every Friday. So as of about 14 weeks, I think I can officially say I have like a visible bump for like the entirety of the day. It still fluctuates, but it's definitely there, and I've been told by many people that like, yeah, you definitely look pregnant now, which is fun, and I'll show you my baby bump later. I'm not quite at the stage yet where I'm comfortable like showing my bare tummy, just because my stomach has been growing in a weird way. So like above my belly button, it started to bulge out, and then below my belly button it started to bulge out. But my belly button is just happily camping out in the middle and wants nothing to do with it. So there's like a weird wave happening, and I'm really excited for the time when my belly is just like nice and round, you know? So yeah, my belly button hasn't participated yet. As for the bulge on top of my tummy, it almost feels like that's like where my stomach relocated or something, because when I would feel really crappy in the evenings, like that is the most uncomfortable spot. Like if I pushed on it, it would make me feel like my stomach was upset. And I'm also starting to get some really like tight, stretchy, uncomfortable feelings in my skin. So I've been putting lotion more often and that kind of helps. Oh, so I don't throw up, but I do burp and hiccup all the time. And that's another one that I've had since day one. I was joking with Peter that there's gonna be no guessing as to whether I'm pregnant again in the future, because the most obvious ones was me waking up early all of a sudden and then burping and hiccuping all the time. And they always go hand in hand. Like it's either a burp then a hiccup or a hiccup then a burp, but they're always together. And it's like, that's my body's way of relieving the nauseous feeling instead of throwing up. So that's been ongoing, and I'm curious to see if that ever goes away in the time that I'm pregnant. There's an example for you. Oh, another symptom I've had since day one is sciatica pain. So it's not been so bad that it's radiated down my legs, but since day one, whenever I walk too much and really like my body is not consistent with how too much is on any given day, but even just walking at a slow pace, like I don't even have to push myself very hard in order for this pain to start flaring up. And it starts like right in the middle of my right butt cheek, and it's just like this painful pinchy feeling. And coupled with that, since everything's like stretching and like loosey-goosey and stuff right now, anytime I walk any type of distance, like I could walk down the street at a snail's pace, and eventually my hips will start getting so sore and locked up. And there was one day where I hadn't really moved. I hadn't really like been super mobile for a while, and then Peter and I decided to go for a walk, and we ended up going like 5K, and that was such a huge mistake because my body was not used to that type of movement, and I was in so much pain the next day I could barely walk. I have it on my list to see a chiropractor for the first time because I feel like it would be good for me. It's something I've been meaning to do even before pregnancy because I've had issues with my hips in the past with them, like typically my right one locking up and stuff, but I'm hoping that that will help. But let's move on to appointments. So I had my first ultrasound appointment pretty early on, but it was really cool because it was my first time getting that far. Like I'd never had an ultrasound to see a baby before in my life. I was a little bit sad because of course Peter couldn't come with me because of COVID protocols. The ultrasound tech did let me take a short video, which I will show you here. And it was so cool being able to see the flicker of the heartbeat and everything. Now I wasn't able to hear the heartbeat at this appointment, which I was a little bit disappointed about. So I actually ordered a home Doppler, and my routine now is every Friday when I'm a new week, I will take a few minutes to find baby on the Doppler and listen to the heartbeat. And the first time that we got to listen to the heartbeat, Peter was with me and we got to do it at home, so that was really exciting. I still actually haven't heard the heartbeat at an actual doctor's appointment. Unfortunately, my second ultrasound, that tech didn't let me take a video for some reason, even though it was at the same place, so I was actually really upset about that because in that ultrasound, like the baby was bouncing around and like flipping all over the place, and it was so funny. Even now, like the other day I listened to the heartbeat and I would hold the Doppler in one place and it was very, very active this time around, and you could just hear the heartbeat like getting fainter and then getting strong again because it was moving like back and forth away from the Doppler and close to the Doppler, and it would make these loud sounds because it was like flipping around, and it was so funny. I don't know what it's doing in there, but it's gonna be a gymnast. We are calling it Squishy when it's in my tummy until we have an actual name.
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy. Come here, Squishy. Come here, little Squishy.
But as far as the gender goes, I do know what we're having, and our gender reveal will actually be this coming Saturday. We did the NIPT testing, which tests for a bunch of chromosomal abnormalities and stuff, and also told us the gender, and we got that done at 11 weeks. All the testing came back normal in terms of like low probability of certain chromosomal abnormalities, and our gender results we found out. So Peter and I decided to do a little like personal gender reveal for us, so I got some cupcakes made by a local bakery. You will find out what we're having in probably the next video, but it's a surprise until then. As for current stats, Squishy is now about the size of an avocado, which is so crazy to imagine. Like I can't imagine something the size of an avocado being inside me without me being able to feel it. Also, I have my next appointment on September 1st, which I'm looking forward to because I'm with a midwife team, and so I'll get to meet at least some of them for the first time, and I have no idea what to expect at that appointment. I don't even know when my next ultrasound is, but everything's going well so far. The first trimester, I feel like it went by so fast. Like, I can't believe I'm only 5 weeks away from being halfway done. That seems so crazy. And I haven't even really begun to do anything. Like, I haven't really done anything to plan for the nursery or create registries or think of names or anything like that. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll kind of start diving into that. It all just kind of feels a little bit overwhelming right now. Some days, like, I'm constantly forgetting that I'm pregnant because I've been in such an infertility mindset for the past 3 years. Whenever I look in the mirror, like in the past before I was pregnant and we were trying, there'd be days where I'd be bloated or whatever, and like I look at myself in the mirror and just kind of like, you know, stick my tummy out and like pretend for a second like, oh, this is what I might look like when I'm pregnant. And now I do the same thing where I'm looking in the mirror and for a split second I'm always forgetting, like, no wait, I actually am pregnant. I am, and like it makes my whole day every single time I remember. And I will say the first trimester was a little bit nerve-wracking. Like, it was really nerve-wracking telling people because I was just nervous about something going wrong, and that anxiety has lessened quite a bit. I've actually been shockingly chill during this pregnancy, which is weird. I've like not even been very emotional at all, which is so bizarre because I was like crying about the stupidest stuff when I was on fertility meds. So yeah, things are going well so far, other than just, you know, random aches and pains, but it's nothing that I can't handle, and it's just, it feels so weird to be here talking about this right now. It somehow feels like I'm living in some fantasy world, and sometimes I have to like check myself and be like, hello, like, are you sure? Are you sure this is legit? Anyways, to end off this video of my first trimester recap, I'll just show you a quick glimpse of the bump, and then I will see you next time in our gender reveal video.